Every pro baseball player's dream is to end up on a Topps baseball card, and my guest today has done just that. Now he needs your help with collecting as many of them as he can. Hey everyone, Rob Wong with you. Pleased to be joined by Minnesota Twins pitcher Justin Topa, who recently discovered that he was featured on the Seattle Mariners team card in this year's 2024 Topps Series 1 baseball set. But Justin, this isn't the conventional way that someone would have their own card, because all that is visible on you is your head on this card. Take me back to the beginning about how you first found out that you were even featured on this card.
Yeah, it was kind of just I guess a luck thing. I don't know. I was searching eBay one night and I just came across the post of 2024 tops, like kind of like a lot. And I saw the picture and I was like, oh, that was kind of like the celebration that we had last year. I think they're actually still doing it a little bit this year. And then that kind of like looked in. I was like, wait a second, is that me in the back corner there? And yeah, so it was kind of funny. So right when I noticed that, I was like, all right, this would kind of be cool. So I picked up a couple of the base cards, and then I was thinking about it the next couple of days, and I was like, maybe try to get all the variations. I wonder how many there are. And obviously, know they do a bunch of different versions, and then looking at the checklist, I was like, oh, this is quite the daunting task of, of how many variations there are, especially nowadays. But yeah, I kind of came up with the idea of maybe trying to get the rainbow and try to obtain as many as I can, and it's been quite the adventure so far, to say the least.
So as you said, you're trying to collect all the colored parallels of this card, and there are way too many to name off right here in this video, but there's at least 10 different versions of the card you're trying to get. Am I correct?
At least, yeah. I mean, I have 22 different right now, so I think it's upwards of maybe even like 40 or 50. There's a few that are going to be tough. Obviously, the one of ones are going to be difficult. I think there's 4 or 5 different versions of the 101s between the printing plates, and now they started doing the, what was it, the first off the line type situation
Right.
where that card gets it's kind of special one of one stamp, and a couple different like Easter variations, stuff like that. So those are obviously going to be kind of difficult. And ironically, there's one, they have two different versions. There's a gold foil and a yellow foil, and you can't tell the difference between the two of them, really. I mean, even if you like look at them next to each other. I've been looking at some different Reddit posts and different forums, and people are trying to figure out which is which. And I guess one comes um, in certain blasters, and then another one comes in, some hanger packs. So yeah, that one's going to be probably the most difficult is to see the difference between those two. But yeah, like you said, there's definitely a lot of different variations. So it's kind of been a cool little adventure this thus far.
I guess the other wrinkle too is you put in your Instagram post about it that you're trying to get your jersey number as well, number 48. So that adds
Right.
another element of some cards that you might be able to acquire. So how are you going about acquiring these cards? You said you were looking on eBay originally for these, and since then you've been asking fans in the community. Well, what's sort of the daily routine for you as maybe some of these cards come in?
Yeah, I think at first it started on eBay, checking eBay, checking ComC. I actually found a couple others on sportlots.com. So there's been a couple different avenues that I've kind of searched for. I've actually, to go back to the jersey number stuff, I've actually picked up two of those versions of jersey number. The Father's Day, a collector on sportscollectors.net. He found it. I don't know if it was on a listing or what it was, but he came across it, so he ended up mailing it to me. I got that in the mail yesterday, and signed a couple different things for him as an exchange, a nice little trade. And then I ended up finding one, the blue sparkle to 9.99, jersey number 48. Found that online, picked that up for I don't know, like $10 or something like that, $7, and so it's been cool. Yeah, so that's just another little wrinkle. But yeah, really it's been checking eBay. I have some alerts on on eBay, and then yeah, I have two accounts on Instagram. I have my personal account, and then I have a sports card memorabilia account that I started probably middle of last year, maybe a little before that. Really started to be more active kind of this off season with stuff, and then obviously once this started, that was kind of the main account that I've been using to interact with people, and kind of getting flooded with DMs, trying to go through them each day. To people are messaging me saying they have this version, that version. So I'm trying to keep a nice list updated to say, hey, I have these versions. Um, and if you have one, or if you know somebody that has one, kind of let me know, and we'll kind of try to work something out. everybody's been awesome. It seems like, every time I go past my little mail slot, there's, 5 or 6 different packages in there, and people are sending a bunch of stuff. So it's been really cool. It's kind of been probably where have gotten the most is through the mail, just from different collectors helping out. Whether they reach out through Instagram or just send them with a letter. It's been really cool to connect with people and kind of spread the hobby and just get to meet people from kind of all walks of life, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, it's funny hearing you talk about the eBay watch list. You're one of us, just like all of those other collectors out there. I've talked to other guys around the league that are doing similar things, on off days or what have you, just getting these alerts and looking on eBay for some of these cards. So as you mentioned, you've accumulated quite a bit so far. You're still a little bit a ways from your end goal, but what do you think you're going to end up doing with these? Do you plan on displaying them in a certain way, whether it's top loaders? Are they going in a shoebox, a display case, or those 2-row boxes? What is your plan for these cards once you complete the goal?
Yeah, I think that the plan is I've been bouncing around different ideas. A buddy of mine actually, he's the bullpen catcher for the Brewers. He's a big collector as well, and he kind of last year I think it was he sent me over. I didn't even know this was a thing. It was a binder that fits top loaders. So I think that might be the route. I have them, a big stack of them here, just in top loaders right now. So I think that might be the plan, just be able to flip through all the different versions and stuff like that, and have it in one spot. I think my wife might be mad if I bought another 2-row box for the house. It's kind of stacked up at the house right now, so maybe we'll go binder this route. And but yeah, it's going to be cool. I think just to be able to have it in one spot and flip through and see all 40 plus variations of it. And yeah, so I think that's kind of the plan. And knock on wood, hopefully one day I can get my own card with, you can see my full body and a little bit of everything, and we can do this again and kind of look for that rainbow and maybe have it all in the same binder or something like that. So that's kind of the plan right now is to go the route of a binder. I grew up collecting and doing through the mail autographs and in-person autographs. So there, my dad's got a bunch of binders from when I was growing up. So I think the binder route might be the route that we go for this one.
So you did mention the Instagram account, the Topa collection, where you've shown off some of your other memorabilia pieces. I know you've got a Wayne Gretzky auto, you've got a Muhammad Ali signed program. You mentioned you've been collecting for a long time. What are some of the other pieces that you picked up through the years that you really enjoy in your PC?
Yeah, it's kind of grown exponentially the past, I would say, 4 or 5 years. Kind of switched routes early on as growing up as a kid. Like I said, I grew up going to minor league games, and I was that kid that, down the line trying to get everybody's autograph, whether it was on a ball or a card or index card, whatever it might be, photo. So early on, it was kind of anything and everything. The past few years, I've kind of transitioned. I've gotten really big into like vintage stuff, kind of transitioned into that. The goal was to go for a signed rookie card of every baseball Hall of Famer. So that's kind of been my PC, I guess you'd say, over the last few years. Have built that up to, probably 150 plus different Hall of Famers
Wow.
signed rookie cards. So I think that is one of the things that I've kind of dove into and accumulated a lot recently. Hockey's a big thing. I grew up playing hockey. Big Wayne Gretzky fan, big Sidney Crosby fan, Ovechkin. That was kind of the heyday when Ovechkin and Crosby were coming in their rookie year. That was kind of when I kind of got really big into hockey. So those two, collecting those two, I was able to pick up a couple different things over the 12 months or so with hockey. But I think ultimately for me, I was a big Derek Jeter fan growing up, big Yankee fan growing up. I have a couple. I've been lucky enough to get a couple signed rookies from Derek Jeter. I ended up meeting him in high school. I won a contest through Upper Deck
Wow.
and got to go to like a couple day camp with him down in Tampa. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So I think anything Jeter related for me, just brings me back to being that kid, growing up in upstate New York. I think like any kid in the mid to late '90s, you wanted to be shortstop for the Yankees, and that was kind of my goal. But I figured out pretty quickly that I can't hit, so that switched to pitching. But um, yeah, I think that the collection is has grown over the years, but it started out early on with my dad and I just going to games and traveling kind of between I grew up in Binghamton, New York. We had a double A team, the Mets. They're still there, but minor league teams in Syracuse and Scranton, Buffalo, Rochester, kind of that Northeast. We'd travel around throughout the summer and hit some games, and so yeah, I think it's just been a really cool hobby for me and my dad to build kind of the collection that we have now. Playing, I've kind of obtained some stuff the past couple years just from teammates, whether it be bats or signed balls and stuff like that. So, like I said, it kind of piles up in the house, and my wife's like, "What are we gonna do with all this stuff now?" But it's a cool way to build some memories and kind of relive that childhood and keep that child within everybody. So yeah, I think that, to go back to your initial question with, any specific items, I think it's anything Jeter related, just, reminds me of growing up and playing backyard sandlot baseball with the buddies and, going back and watching a Yankee game and seeing that kind of dynasty of the late 90s, early 2000s Yankee teams. That's kind of what connects me the most. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, I think that's sort of the thing for a lot of collectors of any memorabilia or sports cards. It's all about that nostalgia, as you mentioned. And it's funny you talk about the storage and having all these cards. And I've talked to some other guys who are, accumulating jerseys and stuff like that. It's like you need a lot more space. At least with the
Yeah.
cards, they can sit in a binder, they can sit in a box. It's a lot easier to manage. Before I let you go, you mentioned your dad collecting with you throughout the years. I mean, what does he think about this pursuit that you're on right now? Is he trying to help you out? Is he trying to look for cards or opening any boxes in the hopes of finding these?
A little bit, yeah. He's kind of active on eBay as well. So so when I initially told him, he was pretty pumped. So I'm sure that there's going to be at least one time where we don't realize that we're bidding against each other. Then we'll probably bid each other up on something. But no, yeah, he obviously. That's why I say it's very ironic, right? I've been drafted in 2013, and I have one minor league team set card, and don't have my own card. So when it was a team card that I noticed, I was kind of hidden in the back corner with. It's kind of ironic that that's kind of the first card, if you'd say, since being in the big leagues. So, but no, he's pumped. Obviously, he's been helping out, looking at different stuff, and I think he's kind of letting me, take the reins on the project. But he's definitely sent some stuff over. He's picked up a handful of base version cards and stuff like that. So it's been cool. He's coming out here to visit in a few weeks, so I think he'll be amazed at the different versions that are out there. I don't think he realizes how many. I was trying to explain to him. He's like, yeah, he grew up, collecting the old, the top sets where you got one card of each player. That's pretty much it. There's no other versions really. Maybe there was like an all star variation or something like that insert, but so he's going to be pretty astonished that there's 40 plus and it's the same photo. It's just a different border and certain numbers. So it's been cool. It's been really fun up to this point, and yeah, like I said, just connecting with everybody and seeing what comes in the mail each day. And people have been extremely generous up to this point, so it's been really fun.
Yeah. Well, I wish you the best in this pursuit of these cards, Justin. It's a great story. It's been chatting with you today. Thanks for this.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Rob. Thanks for having me on.